Welcome back to another video, wherever in the Caribbean or in the diaspora you're watching from. In today's video, I want to talk about a list that came out yesterday. So yesterday, the internet was on fire because of a list that came out showing Caribbean islands with a deportation list and some of the top islands that's on that list. And on that list, Haiti had 32,363 people facing possible deportation. Dominican Republic, 12,699. And to round out the top three, Jamaica, 5,120. So that list came out yesterday, and everyone in the Caribbean is talking about this list and talking about how fast Donald Trump seemed to be moving with this mass deportation. And as I did a video about it yesterday, and as expressed in that video, I was a bit confused to some of the things that we have been seeing this week in terms of mass deportation. And with this list came out yesterday, like it was even more confusing. So luckily for me, last night, doing some research and receiving a call from someone that gave me some more knowledge about what is really going on. So in today's video, that is what I want to break down, this list and what is really happening in America and this deportation list. So that is what I want to talk about today. So let's talk about it. Okay, so one of the good things about doing this, what we do at Carib 21, is that unlike traditional media, we don't have any agenda. Like for us here at Carib 21, our main purpose is to represent the Caribbean well, to have the Caribbean region shining like a bright diamond on the world stage. And another advantage is that unlike traditional media, whenever we put out something, it's more like a discussion because of the comment section and because of our Instagram that's connected. If you want to reach out to us, you can click the comment section and you'll see the information for Instagram right there. So because of those tools, we're able to interact with people in real time. And then because of Instagram, I was able to get some more information last night so one of the things that people have to realize is that we don't know everything. And so it's always good to get information from the experts. So this information that I'm bringing today is coming from someone that used to work with ICE. And also some of the information came from people that connect with me in the comment section and educated me more about what is going on with this thing. So first, as I said, I was very confused when this list dropped yesterday. And I did a video about it and documented some of the things that was very confusing to me. And a lot of people who interacting in the comment section also are confused. One of the first things that people are confused about is this list. The list that we saw was 53,000 from the Caribbean. As I said, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and the list goes on. But the overall list was over 1 million people on that list facing possible deportation. So one of the main questions was over 1 million on the list. Donald Trump has only been in office for like 8 full days. So how did Donald Trump manage to get this list of over 1 million people in just 8 days? So based on the conversation having with that person, as I said, from ICE, is that the first thing that we need to recognize is that ICE is not political. So whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans in office, ICE operates the same way they normally operate. So based on what I was told is that whatever you see ICE doing right now, they're not doing anything different. Everything that they're doing right now under this Donald Trump administration, that they have been doing this under Barack Obama and under Joe Biden administration. The only difference is that this is publicized, and that might be because of Donald Trump strategy. Donald Trump like to do things big. He likes when his name is out there in the media. So everything else, everything that's going on now with ICE based on what I was told, this is regular procedure. It's just ramped up because Donald Trump he's like showboating. Donald Trump want his base to see that he's working. But when you see the images of people in shackles, in chained to each other, that is regular procedure when you're transferring people that are illegal, or when you're transferring prisoners really in like mass numbers. So that was the first thing that was explained to me, that this is normal procedure. And another thing that I was told is that the only thing that really changed is the people at the top. So like the new appointed Balthazar, like those positions, like whenever Republicans or Democrat comes in office, like they have the ability to change the top people, but the people, the ICE officers are pretty much the same. The supervisors, like everyone that been working with ICE, like they really don't get changed out. Just like the Balthazar or people who are in charge of the decisions that are made. And one of the other thing which I guess we're seeing now is that whether Democrats or Republicans, they decide which route to take. So for example, now we see Donald Trump talking about mass deportation, and the Donald Trump administration, their orders, the orders that they're giving out to ICE is that, look, deportation, as opposed to when Joe Biden was in office, with the ICE officers, they were told to kind of reroute a lot of the immigrants that came across, especially across the border, to Sanctuary City. So that is the only difference that we've seen with how politics is involved. But in pertaining to how the officers, the ICE officers go on their raid and how they make their arrests and how they deport people, it's standard procedure. Everything that we're seeing now, that is how they operate on a daily basis. The only thing with this administration is that we're seeing it on TV. We see Dr. Phil going with cameras and documenting it. In the Joe Biden and Donald Trump administration, it wasn't documented like that. And that could be their choice. This could be like something that Donald Trump just wants to do to pretty much like showboat and to show his base that he's doing what he said that he would have done. So that is just it. And the other thing I want to talk about now, the list. How did Donald Trump get this list in less than 10 days? So apparently, based on what I was told again, this list is not a new list. This list has been a list that's been an ongoing list for years. So the 53,000 Caribbean nationals that are on this list, they are not necessarily incarcerated. They're not necessarily locked up. These people could be in America working, and they're waiting for a process to take place where they have an immigration lawyer pleading their case. So one of the examples that was used to pretty much explain the process to me was an example of Foota Hype. So Foota Hype, popular Jamaican selector Foota Hype, you know, the people know him as the viral king. So if you remember in 2019, Foota Hype was arrested by ICE officers. I think he was coming back from the Jamrock cruise or something like that. And he was arrested by ICE officers and he was in custody for about 2 months. So what was explained to me is that like someone like Foota Hype, like his case, arrested by ICE officers, was locked up for pretty much about 2 months, and he was released with ankle monitor. And then the ankle monitor, because of the administration that was in office, he was able to stay in America, even though like he would have been one of the person to be on a list like that. So there are many cases like a Foota Hype case. There are cases where people would go and they'll do like a business marriage. That was another example. And it fell through and they would be on that list. So what was explained is that the list itself does not mean that these people are in custody or that the entire 53,000 are going to be deported. It's based on what the Trump administration, like their the direction that they give ICE to go and to execute like this list. But based on what I was told is that, as I said, like all of these people, it's not like we're going to expect to see like a military plane going to Jamaica, dropping off people the same way we saw what happened in Colombia. Based on what I was told, like we're not expecting anything like that soon. Any deportation going to Jamaica would be pretty much standard procedure that we have seen over the years, like where a few people are put on commercial flights and sent back to Jamaica, but we're not expected to see like this, like as I said, like a military plane going to Jamaica, dropping off people, because as I said earlier, these people are not necessarily in custody. The 5,120 people, a lot of those people are in America working still. A lot of those people are just about their day-to-day life. And we're not expecting Donald Trump to call up the Prime Minister of Jamaica and say, look, we're sending a military aircraft with your people back to Jamaica. And if you don't accept them, we're going to slap you with a 25% tariff. No, based on what I was told, that is not to be expected. Who knows? That could change, but we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, so what I find really interesting is that based on what I'm learning now is that everything that you see taking place now with Donald Trump is pretty much standard procedure, and under the Obama administration that saw over 3 million people got deported in Obama's 8 years as president, it is the same thing that is going on now. And another thing that I find interesting is that apparently like nobody that is associated with ICE or works with ICE think that it is even possible for Donald Trump to deport even half of the people in America, the illegal immigrants in America. Even 5 million would be like a pretty much an impossible task because of the manpower and because of the cost that's associated with it. So from what I'm seeing, this pretty much just seemed like a scare tactic and just to drive fear in people who are thinking of running off in America. And as I said, just to showcase on your the evening news for you to be watching Fox and CNN and seeing all of this stuff going on and say to yourself, you know what? I'm not even going to take the chance. I'm just going to turn back. Or do you think that this is going to be pretty much like the last Donald Trump administration, where he came out strong in the early part of his presidency, talking about building a wall and, you know, building this big giant wall and to keep the Mexicans out. And after a few months, you didn't hear anything else about the wall. So do you think that it's going to be something similar to that? Like Donald Trump is just coming out strong now to please his base, like the people that voted for him. And by next year, this time, you're not going to hear anything else about this whole deportation, mass deportation thing. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.